What up, y'all? Happy summer solstice. We've got the full moon in Capricorn tomorrow, so lots of culmination energy this week happening. It's all about exciting. I am just about to go out to wander around outside for hopefully a very long run and then a very long walk. So feeling the fiery heat of the sun, feeling good. This full moon might be bringing into light some revelation, revealing a lot. So be ready for, I think, change that brings relief. All right, let's see. Ooh, the first card out is Release Your Ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So just as I was starting to say, the full moon in Capricorn, I feel, is probably like doing something where it's connecting somehow to Venus, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. But it is asking us to go into our lives in self-reflection, perfect timing for the solstice, the midpoint of the year. Also, the culmination of the light of the sun, the big, revealing of the light. Well, what does the light do? It illuminates what's been in the darkness, right? So it brings into consciousness what has been unconscious. So information might be coming out, or you might be having realizations and maybe coming to epiphanies about your past relationships. But as we go into this full moon, specifically for our romantic lives, but also for all the areas of our lives, do a really good self-reflection over the next couple of days and evaluate, right? Really rigorously and honestly, where have you been lying to yourself? That was something that my Kabbalah class had us journal recently. That was very helpful. How far have you come? How have you grown? How have you changed? How do you now want to integrate that change into your new cycle going forward? We're really getting further away from that old timeline and further into the new one. And so we can't straddle both anymore. And so we really need to release the past and give ourselves a chance for a fresh new start. New cycles are starting. So we don't want our old patterns to follow us. And we don't want those old wounds and mindsets to follow us. So it's like we need to just release it and let it go. Maybe do a journaling and then burn the journal entry or whatever you need to do as a ritual to release this so that you can be unencumbered and just move forward, be reborn. The next card out is Flirt. So yeah, get ready for new beginnings and new experiences and leaving the shadows of the past behind, jumping into the new timeline with fresh energy, excited, eager, upbeat, but be open and lighthearted. Don't be closed down and, too closed off and too shut down and too inward. Do the release so that you can come out of your shell again and come out of the cocoon transformed, fluttering into the new beginning. All right. New cycles, new starts. So we want to start fresh. We don't want to start off, the same as it was. Ooh, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So to me, it really feels like the culmination of lessons, the realization of patterns, at least to a degree where you can navigate yourself as you go forward in new experiences, with continued practice of awareness and presence and self-evaluation. But it's like you can't fall into those old patterns or those old tendencies or those old habits or behaviors that got you there to begin with. And so just taking things slowly and, don't just when this card comes up, it's like it's safe for you to love. I want to be careful about people who just take that as like take that with a grain of salt. You have to get to know people for who they are, and before you can just give them trust to love them and be vulnerable. And that happens over a course of time. And so first we have to learn to be trustworthy with ourselves and to trust ourselves. And that's a process before we can, and that's like, it's kind of a work in progress as we learn, how to gauge when a person becomes trustworthy. It's like bit by bit, I like Brene Brown's description of it when I feel like it's in Rising Strong, not the first one, Daring Greatly. I think it's in Rising Strong, where she talks about trust being like a jar of marbles. And so when that trust is broken, it's like, did the marbles spill out? Did you just take some marbles? Like, is the whole jar broken? And so it's like you kind of like have a jar with different people, different situations, different things in your life. So you have to learn how to, read and manage those jars. Okay, and I think that too comes down to being able to be honest with oneself as well. True love, la 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 la. This is a romance of a lifetime. So now that it is safe for you to start new cycles, it's like now it's possible to have something that is based on love and not just like habit, unconscious patterning, or like trauma bonding, or anything that is like too extreme and chemical based. Like now it's like you have enough self-control and self-mastery and like knowledge of self that you know more what you need, more what your deal breakers are, what your non-negotiables are, what your stronger preferences are. So the greater that we get to know ourselves, right, the better that we know like what our needs are and what our must-haves are, and whether or not someone is going to be up to the task of being that, and you can't project that they might become that, and you can't add that to them. That's why you have to slowly get to know people so that you understand, and you have to believe like who they really are and not project who you hope they can be, who you want them to be, or who you are maybe scared that they are. It's like you have to like give people a fair shot, unbiased, for better or worse. Okay, so let's clarify, release your ex. What more can you say, really? It's just like, let it be done. Like, just let it go. Just start over. Pretend like you never even knew him. Oh, and then manifest. So as soon as you let this thing go, it's like this is the only thing that's like causing dissonance in your energy field. You have everything it takes to move forward and have what you want to create, but you've got to let go of attachments that are holding you in an old, stale, dead timeline that doesn't have any life in it. It's just like a Xerox. It's a faded Xerox timeline now. It's not the vivid, 35 millimeter print, right? It's not even from a printer, right? You go to I don't know why I'm comparing this to like a photograph, but it's like this version of reality is, going from like a stale copy that's just dead. It doesn't have any life or originality or authenticity in it, to something that is vivid and rich, and physically it has substance. So we are manifesting from our essence. Think about your vibration and your consciousness level as the mirepoix when you're starting a soup or a stew. If you cook, you've got a flavor base in your pot. And so the mirepoix is the French flavor base known for having carrot, onion, celery, and garlic. So if you start any kind of pot, you start with the onions first, and you start introducing like the garlic and the other things. And that is the thing that creates your flavor base, and you start adding things in. Well, if you singe or burn your flavor base from the beginning, like the whole thing's ruined. You might as well just throw that out, like wash your pot and start over, because the whole thing's going to be burned after that. So that's the same with our consciousness and when we're manifesting. We manifest from our seed level of consciousness. And so if that seed level of consciousness is singed with negativity, then we are going to be planting seeds of chaos. Everything that we make is going to have the flavor of the offness of our consciousness when we created that thing. Even if we are doing something positive and we are in a frame of consciousness that was caused by something unrelated, even it just gets into it, right? It contaminates what we're creating and what we're making. So, we have the power to have what we want, but we can't have it have it both ways. We have to cut out everything from the past so that we can give the future relationship every 100% chance of success. All right, so flirt, rebuild, and listen. So flirt with the Tower card and listen to your intuition. So be discerning about your flirtatious energy, because the Tower card is like a sudden revelation that sort of breaks down false security. So don't hear like have lighthearted flirtatious energy and then see that as like being like legging on too thick, or like having it being this like false security or false sense of confidence or whatever, because that can lead to like false masks and it can come off as inauthentic or be misread. But you can have this like lighthearted energy, but also be careful where you have that too. You have to be responsible with it, because you have to listen to your intuition. You never know, like it could just like be taken too far, right? It's like if you try to just be polite and like say hello back to someone, and then they're like, the next thing they jump like to 10 years ahead, and they're like 10 light years ahead, and they're trying to like take, you're just like So be discerning about this, right? Be responsible. But if you have a good feeling about and a good feeling is not the same as having good emotions or like an enticed feeling. It's more like having a discerning like peace about something in your gut, or like a gut sort of, I think peace is a good way to put it. Then be open and lighthearted, but pay attention to red flags, because if you're indiscriminately using this flirtatious energy, you're going to get yourself into an oops, I did it again situation. All right. Maybe you should watch that music video and listen to the song. But yeah, just be discerning. Listen to your intuition and pay attention to like where like these false towers are crashing, these false foundations. Illusions, right? Or like things coming to the surface. The High Priestess is not just about listening to your intuition, but it's about things coming up that were once hidden. So this could be like having your patterns be revealed to you so that you can break them. It can also mean that like situations that you found yourself in may not have been like, you may not have fully seen the whole thing, right? And so things are being revealed that were previously unknown, and then it's like the tower crashing is like the illusion crumbles or the facade crumbles, and you see a situation for what it really is. Belief systems crashed, things like that. But it's the catalyst that brings on an awakening. So yeah. And then let's get some clarity on it is safe for you to love. So, and like having like, using your discernment, and then having this all of this come up, it's like, okay, cool. Now integrate that to have better, more self-awareness moving forward. Blossom. So yeah, this is the like confirmation of that. This is the sun card. Happy solstice once again. Blossom. Everything's coming to blossom. Everything's coming into illumination and revelation. And it's all making sense now, and it's being integrated into growth and like vitality. Also, when the sun card comes up, I love that it looks like a little zenny over there. When the sun card comes up, it's also a confirmation and a big yes. Okay, so as like it just makes me feel like it's underscoring what we've already been talking about. But new revelation, rebirth, purification, innocence, good things ahead. Very joyous energy. And the Seven of Wands card came up with true love. Choose your battles. So, like, be careful about, like, when this says choose your battles and then the true love card comes up, it makes me feel like choose your sparring partners wisely. Choose the person that you are going to be exploring whether or not they're an option for you wisely, who you spend your time with wisely, because you will have to, like, it just creates more chaos if you're not discriminating with that. And also, if you are going into a new relationship, then and it's like true love, then also be more discerning and sensitive about the battles that you wage within that relationship, because damage done is done and it can't be taken back once it's out there. So like, as you've grown, reflect on the part of you that's grown that can have more self-restraint and not react so quickly in ways that lead to battles that aren't necessary. Whilst at the same time, the Seven of Wands card can also talk about overcoming our challenges and overcoming our obstacles and having what it takes to overcome these difficulties. The difficulties connected to ultimately breaking long-held patterns and habits and belief systems and limiting beliefs. So I think this is really good. I think ultimately this is about being discerning, moving forward, and having grown a lot, learning to take it slow and practice being present and aware and moving with intention and releasing the past, because that's really the only thing anchoring us into that old timeline. And now we want to be free to just move forward. Let any illusions or ways that we have like been fooled by our subconscious, right? Like the ego's voice, like painting up illusions and fantasies that we believed, like let it all come crashing down, right? And see it for what it really is. Let it all come up so that you can now be lighthearted and move forward, unencumbered by all of that gunk that gets built up around your inner radiance. All right, you guys, happy solstice, happy full moon in Capricorn tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be filming the full moon workshop, and then I will post it as soon as it's done. So be on the lookout. That means that you should be subscribed and you should turn on notifications so that you know when it is dropped. Like, comment, do all the things. Every action that you take is really helpful. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank y'all for all your participation. Ciao. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, then please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to be notified of when I drop content. Like the videos, comment, share them. Anything that you do helps these messages get out to other people who need them. So you watching a video and taking an action on it actually makes a positive difference in someone else's life.